Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. How was your day today? Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My husband had a 4-year-old daughter from his first marriage when we got married. His ex-wife married someone 3 months after we did. His daughter, we will call A, had visitation and phone calls, and my husband did everything to stay in her life and see her. But ex-wife was not happy. We have records of calling police when she would not let us have visitation, or when she came over an hour too early when we did have visitation. She also had A call her stepdad Teddy. Fast forward to 12 years old. She loses it and says she doesn't want to come over anymore because mommy misses her. So my husband let her decide if she wanted to come over or not when it was our time. He did everything he could to stay in her life, called, gave money over and above college, was at high school graduation and college graduation. She's now 30 and got married this year. I asked her point blank, who is going to walk you down the aisle? She said she was going to walk herself. Now, we had another child together that would be A's half-sister, and she's 23 years old. At the wedding, here are the facts. 1. She walked down the sidewalk with her mom on one side and her stepdad on the other. Did not even mention to her actual dad this would be happening. 2. The car to pick us up and other family members from her dad's side was 2 hours late to get us. Driver was told this was the time to get us. We missed all the first look pictures, family pictures. We got there 10 minutes before the wedding. 3. After the wedding, my daughter was told at least 6 times. I didn't even know A had a sister, stepsister, and several people did not know that Teddy was not her real dad. So I got on my Instagram account and blew it up with pictures of her with our family and trips from 6 years old to her college graduation. All were taken with her posing and family friendly. I then added all her friends to my Instagram account so they could see that we're part of her life and didn't just dump her. She called her dad screaming and crying that he needs to get his jealous bee of a wife in line and he owes it to her to delete that account. Her friends already know the situation and don't need to see those pictures. She has blocked all of us and refuses to let us see any wedding pictures. Oh, and did I mention she works for the company that owns Instagram, so she was able to delete my account? So am I the a-hole? I don't understand what you want from this woman. She is 30 years old. She clearly doesn't want a close relationship with your husband or you. She has made this clear countless times. What are you proving, and to whom? You're the a-hole. I could drive a truck through the holes in this story. You don't just go from, we were such a happy family, look at the receipts, to, we found out unexpectedly that she doesn't even tell people we exist, and she clearly did not want us on the wedding photos. You adding her friends into your IG account so they can see all the pics you posted to prove a point, to these people you never even knew before, is weirdly obsessive. Also, I'm LOLing over the fact that one of the most offensive things she's apparently done, warranting a mention in your post, is calling her stepdad Teddy. What's that about? You're the a-hole. You are not her mother. She didn't choose you as a parent. She doesn't even like you or your family. I can most definitely tell why, to be honest. You make a scene like that at a wedding because your husband can't speak for himself. Stop calling her your family. She is not. She didn't want you in the family pictures. Do you want her to write it out for you? I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and I don't know what to do. And the problem is, I can't discuss this with anyone I'm close with for privacy reasons. I've been with my wife, Andrea, 48 female, and my stepdaughter, Cassie, 17 female, for 8 years now. I love them both to death, but Cassie is a very brilliant young woman. Recognizing her potential, me and Andrea decided to put together a college fund for Cassie so she wouldn't be crushed by debt. Over the years, it has amounted to over $200,000. Cassie is aware of this and is banking on it because she's trying to get into the Ivy League. To make a long story short, last week I found out that almost $170,000 of the money was missing from the account. I freaked the duck out and asked Andrea if she knew anything about it. She teared up and said she had been spending the money over the years to fund her spending habit. I was furious, but I had a moment of clarity. I've browsed these subs enough to know that an affair was possible, so I asked her if she was having one. She adamantly denied it and offered any proof I needed. Social media accounts, emails, her work phone, everything. She offered to show me the receipts as well. There was nothing that popped out as suspicious, and the math from the receipts added up as well, so I let it go. But we still had the major problem of the money being gone. She described herself as a shopping addict, and the money from Cassie's account was just too tempting not to use. She didn't make excuses, but offered no solutions. As stated before, I was beyond furious. She ruined Cassie's chances of going to college debt-free and has changed the trajectory of her whole life. I had asked her to stay with her sister while I tried to figure this out. Cassie was concerned about why she was leaving, but we just said she needed a little bit of space. I asked Andrea to come back home yesterday, and we had an extremely long discussion about how to handle this. She stopped me from talking and asked a favor of me. She asked me if I could take the fall for her. For context, her and Cassie don't get along for a variety of reasons, and knowing how independent Cassie is, she will probably leave right after college, if not during. In fact, me and Cassie get along very well, and she comes to me for a lot of her issues. Andrea fears this will permanently drive Cassie away, and she doesn't want to lose her. I told her that before we even talk about that, she needed to acknowledge her mistake and own it. She needed to go to individual therapy. We needed couples counseling. She needed to find a shopaholic support group, and that I would be controlling the finances from now on. She said those terms were steep, but fair. I said she needed to tell Cassie what she did, apologize, and hope for the best. She refused and said she could never lose Cassie. She said I could survive the mistake, but she couldn't. I told her that in order to even consider me taking the fall, she needs to agree to my terms. I don't know what the hell to do. The last thing I want is to lie to Cassie, but I don't want Andrea and Cassie to split up forever. And the worst part about this whole thing is that Cassie's life is ruined either way, and I don't know how to replenish the money, other than maybe borrowing it for my 401k. Reddit, do you have any suggestions? Divorce is always an option, but I love Andrea despite her mistakes, and me dating at 52 is next to impossible. Don't lie to Cassie. That's punishing her for her mother's sins. It will come out eventually. Her mother needs to be honest. Do not take the blame. Your wife admitting her mistake to her daughter is the only way your wife's addiction is going to stop. If she can't admit her wrongdoings to the person it hurts most, she can't move on from her addiction. Do not lie to Cassie. Cassie needs to know what her college options are. An Ivy League may not be feasible anymore. Her mom needs to work on replacing the money, not you. You need to cut off financial access for your wife. Wife can resell items, get a second job, whatever. Do not enable her in any way, nor lie for her. Make her pay it back, and she can take loans she needs to pay to replace it too. She doesn't want to lose her daughter. For duck's sake, she sure as hell didn't care about her daughter while she blew the money. Edit. After everyone in here knocked some sense into me, I realized I can't lie to Cassie. I love her too much, and she deserves the absolute truth, no matter how ugly and hard it is. I will be talking to Andrea and telling her that we need to tell her the truth together, as a condition of us staying together, or else I will initiate divorce proceedings and tell Cassie anyway. Edit 2. I want to thank everyone here for really opening my eyes yesterday. You're all right. I need to put Cassie first, and like I said, I'll be telling the absolute truth. Even if she gets mad at me and disowns me, at least I'll know I did the right thing. In addition, I'm going to pay for her college myself. I can pull money from a couple of places such as my retirement and inheritance, so it'll be okay. If I have to live a little frugally during retirement and work a few extra years, then so be it. Cassie is worth it. I honestly doubt her mother is going to sell her stuff, so that's why I'm taking this route. As for Andrea, I've been criticized for wanting to let Andrea off the hook, so to speak, but it's easy to say when really deep feelings aren't involved. That being said, I don't think I can stay with her. What she did is horrendous, and she ruined our daughter's future for her addiction. We had a long discussion last night, and I threatened divorce unless she told Cassie the truth. She begged me not to do this, but I put my foot down, and eventually she agreed, but only if I agreed not to divorce and I helped to repair their relationship. I likely won't be doing either. She made her bed, so she can sleep in it. I've known Luke since we were 5, a long time, about 26 years. My sister was 18 when they started dating. I wasn't thrilled, but at least I trusted Luke. I'd never seen my sister happier. Within a year, they were pregnant with my niece, 9, and the next year they had my nephew. Recently, due to unattended mental health, my sister ignored her diabetes, and she unfortunately passed away. DKA. It was hard on me and her children. We're still not over it. Within a week, all my sister's belongings were gone. Her jewelry, artwork, and clothes were all gone. I know any of my family wouldn't have had that stuff. But worst of all, he's rehomed her dog. She's had Frankie for 11 years. She wouldn't have wanted that. My mother says it was the last blow and doesn't want anything to do with him, and in all honesty, I agree. But Luke doesn't have any family and has been calling me crying about how he's struggling. How I'm the only family he has. I mean, aside from his children. I told him that him rehoming the dog was too far, told him to lose my number and blocked him. It's Christmas soon, and he's been texting and calling about how the children want to see me, how they've been struggling and need me. I said I'd be involved once the children are old enough not to be chauffeured by him and where I can interact separately. Edit. I asked if we can see the children without him being around, if I can text them, etc., and got told no. He won't let me see the children without him, and as they're 9 and 8, I think it's just controlling rather than worrying because they're not small children. My husband thinks I should sympathize, since I've known him so long, and people can make rash decisions, that he's depressed, etc. I would have taken the dog. I would have taken her clothes or her pictures. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, but for the sake of your still young niece and nephew, please don't fully cut contact with brother-in-law. Yes, he acted horribly, but the children don't deserve to be abandoned by their mom's family because of that. They did not pick their father. Everyone sucks here. If people in the family would have taken the dog or belongings, and he didn't even ask, then that's concerning. It sounds like he wanted to get rid of things that reminded him of the pain, and that's understandable. He shouldn't have to keep them around and hurt himself for the convenience of others. But he should have asked family if they wanted things. But what you're doing is also hurting your own niece and nephew. What he did does not justify cutting off your own niece and nephew and depriving them of family contact during this hard time. Not the a-hole. He's intentionally depriving his children of their aunt to force you to be around him after getting rid of her dog. Could have asked you if you wanted the dog, but he just got rid of everything. He's grieving, but that dog is still a living creature who doesn't deserve to be trashed like an item. He needs to apologize for his actions instead of trying to control you. You don't have to accept his behavior, and nor should you. You lost her too. My 31 female, ex-husband, 35 male, got married less than 6 months ago with his girlfriend, 25 female, and she got pregnant very fast. Recently, he told me that they were having a girl. I'm a huge fan of the movie Frozen, so when our daughter, 6 female, was born, I wanted to name her Elsa, and my husband agreed to that. I know it is a little dumb to name your kid after things like that, but it is not a super unusual or ugly name. It's pretty, and it means a lot to me. My husband and I divorced when our daughter was 3. We don't hate each other, but we are not best friends either. The issue with the new baby is that he explained to me that after he told his new wife the story behind the name of Elsa, she proposed that their daughter should be named Anna, so they could be sisters like in the movie. For me, that is totally unfair that they are stealing my naming process from me like that. What if I have another daughter? It would have been perfect to name her Anna, and now I wouldn't be able to do it without looking like I'm stealing from them. My husband doesn't even like Frozen that much. He always said his favorite Disney animated movie was Bolt. I don't know if the mother likes Frozen, but I'm totally sure she doesn't like it as much as me. I demanded to him that they choose another name, but he thinks I'm acting crazy. I called my divorce lawyer, but she doesn't think there's anything we can do about this. My mother just laughed at me. I feel so defeated. My sadness turned into anger, and in an impulsive rage, I called my ex-husband. I told them that if they insisted on using that name, I would make everything I could do to sabotage the relationship between our daughter and theirs, so they were never real sisters like Elsa and Anna. He got really angry and said horrible things to me. I immediately regretted saying what I said, and it's not true. I would never do that. But this whole situation has been so horrible for me, and now he's really angry too. I think that I am ultimately in the right about why they shouldn't use that name, but I was wrong in saying what I said. I want to insist on them picking another name, but without going too far. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole. Take a cue from your favorite movie and let it go. You're the a-hole. The fact you called your lawyer over use of a name, a very common name at that, is a bit unhinged. The stepmom is trying to do something to include your daughter in her life with her new sister. They are a family too, after all. It's not out of malice or spite. You're the a-hole. It's none of your business what they name their daughter, nor do you have any say in it. And contacting your lawyer about it was laughable, and threatening to sabotage the girls' relationship with each other is petty, immature, and completely asinine. You've lost your grip on reality.